Good morning. So it is a few days after the storm, and it didn't actually, the power didn't actually go out, but we did have snow, which has caused some issues. But it's Sunday morning, and this one is acting like she's never been fed in her life, so I better get her fed. I've just washed her dishes. Coming. Okay, relax. You may or may not know, I give Sophie a little bit of either pure pumpkin or sweet potato that I've cooked myself. I give her about a tablespoon, big round teaspoon with her wet food, morning and at supper time. It really helps with her digestion and keep her tummy settled and her coat and everything like that. It's good for them and it's safe. Do your own research, but I've done my research, talked to the vet, it's safe. Are you hungry? Are you starving, even though you had dry food overnight? It's coming, relax. She's got fresh water and her wet food. I'm gonna have to clean her litter box next. I'll tell you about the storm and sort of the aftermath in a bit. Right now, I'm trying to decide what I'm gonna meal plan for the week. I think what I'm gonna make is, I still have half a bag of these split green peas. So I'm gonna make a batch of my split pea soup. I have half a block of smoked tofu in the freezer that I should use up. And I also got, where is it? I also got a couple of these Mediterranean veggie sausages from my neighbor. So I might use these in that, or what I think I might use these in, haven't decided yet, is let's pick that up too. I got this bag of bell peppers for $4.99. Keep in mind, all my prices are Canadian, which is really good given how many peppers are in here. 6, 9, 10 peppers. So what I think I'm gonna do, and I've got some yellow onions, is make some sausage and pepper wraps with the bell peppers in this. I have a recipe for that on my channel. I also have a recipe for the split pea soup on my channel. If you're new, I will link those down below, but you can find all my recipes in my recipes playlist. I also have a separate playlist for Instant Pot recipes. So I think I'm gonna do that for the two dinners. I'm gonna make the sausage and peppers because I can put that on wraps. I can put it on rice. I can really do anything with it. And then I'm gonna make the split pea and smoked tofu soup. I've got carrots, I've got potatoes, I've got onions. I probably will put some pepper in that as well. So that will be dinners. And the nice thing about both of those is that I can freeze some. I can leave out enough for the first few days of the week and then take out the remainder down the closer to the end of the week. Because food really, when you meal prep, and I do so rarely hear this talked about. You see these videos about meal prepping, and they make like 7 days worth of food. First of all, I never make 7 days worth of food because weekends are sort of eat up leftovers, sort of dig through my freezer. I'm trying to clean out what's in my pantry. But when you make even 5 days worth of food, by day 5, that food's getting pretty old, even if it's kept in your fridge. So I usually leave out enough for a couple of days, freeze the rest, and then I can pull it out on, say, Wednesday night. And if I'm making something that can't be frozen, like that gnocchi soup that I made, then I will just eat it for lunch and dinner for the next, that day and the next 2 days to eat it up. But most of what I make can be frozen. So that's what I'm going to do. And I have got, you saw that I made 2 loaves of bread last week. I pulled the second one out of the freezer because I froze one. I've already eaten the other loaf. It wasn't a huge loaf, but it was delicious. I made French toast with it. I made the grilled cheese sandwich that I showed you at the end of that video. I had it just toasted with peanut butter on it. Highly recommend you make that recipe if you are intimidated by bread, but I digress. So I've got what I need there. Now I want to make a snack / lunch kind of wild card recipe. And what I'm going to do, because I got these on sale on a really good price, these little cherry tomatoes. And what I'm going to do, I bought some green onion and I've got some garlic. And what I'm going to make is a little bruschetta to use for on crackers. I will toast some bread and have it on that for lunch. I've got some naans that are frozen in the freezer. I can make a little naan pizza for lunch or dinner if I don't feel like eating something else. So that's going to be what I use these for. And I just love making my own bruschetta. It's really super easy. I'll make that recipe for you guys. You'll see that on the channel. I'm not sure when. So that's going to be my food for the week. And, I have bananas and I've got a couple of oranges and I got lots of stuff in my pantry. So that's what's going to be the food for the week. I don't know if you can hear the rain on the roof. Anyways, let me warm this up again because it's not hot enough. And then we'll sit down and chat about how the storm went. So the storm came on Monday night. And we had snow Monday night, Tuesday night. And by Wednesday morning, it had stopped. And the power didn't go out, which was great because it's always a hassle when the power goes out unprepared, but it's still a hassle. So that was the plus. It was heavy, wet snow. And the tree limbs were bent down, and I was fully expecting the power to go out because that's usually when a tree limb goes down on a power line. But we didn't have that happen. So I was able to work all the way through it, of course. And so on Thursday, I decided that I would buzz over to the post office at lunch because I had a package that had arrived. And I was able to back out of my spot, turn around and get up the little hill here and out of the park. That wasn't a problem. But once I get out of the park, that road has quite a steep incline up. And that's probably, I'd say, about half a kilometer length. And even if you go the other direction, it's flat, but then you come around a corner and it's even steeper. So that's not an option. So the road looked just slushy, and it was not just slushy. I got about halfway up that hill, and then I was totally spinning out. Now, I don't have four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, but I have a one-ton vehicle that is fitted out for a camper van, so she's fairly heavy, and I have brand new winter tires. That did not do me any good at all. In fact, I think the weight probably worked against me. The snow, once it hit the ground and started to melt a bit, ended up being a layer of ice with the description I have is like snotty, slimy sludge on top, slush, but it was, and I could get no traction. Very few people could get traction up that hill unless you had studded tires or chains, or four-wheel drive probably could have made it. But so here I am halfway up that hill, spinning and starting to slide backwards and over to the right-hand side, of which there is a big drop. And so, there were there was snow pushed up there, but it was wet and I was getting really close to it. So I was able to back down, turn my tires enough, get enough traction on that snow on the edge to get away from the edge, back down to the entrance to the park, and come back home. So that was it. I was going nowhere on Thursday. I thought I would leave it alone for Friday because, I have food at home. I had groceries, I have water. I didn't need anything, but I thought I would just leave it because it wasn't going to snow anymore. It was drizzling a bit, and I figured I would go out on Saturday. I could not back out of my little spot here by my tiny house. The snow, again, was just that slimy, slushy, icy stuff, and even though I had cleared it, the tires could not get traction on it. It was very frustrating. I ended up using the mats from the front, the driver and the passenger's side, under the tires to back out. I managed to get my van out of this little bowl here where the tiny houses are and up to the entrance where it's pavement, and I've left it there. I'm sure it's fine now, but I just decided I was not going to try and brave that road up or anything. My neighbor here, who's got all-wheel drive in her SUV, she was going to town. She asked me if I wanted to come, so I hitched a ride and was able to get a few groceries, go to the library and pick up a book I had on hold. And that was great because I also went to Canadian Tire and picked up some tire chains. I had called on Thursday to see if they had them because the van has some, they're light truck rated tires. They're fairly large, so a lot of chains don't fit them. So I wanted to make sure they had some that fit me. And so I was able to stop by there and pick those up. If I'm ever in a situation where it's icy, snowy, and I can't get traction with the winter tires, then having tire chains is a very smart thing to do. I've never needed them. Here's the thing. I've spent so much of my life in cold winter climates. But the snow here is different. The climate here is so different. In Calgary, in Alberta, what most people don't realize is winter tires actually get stickier the colder it gets. So when it's minus 30, minus 25, minus 30, colder, and the roads are icy, your winter tires are actually grippier than they are when it's minus 5. These are all Celsius, by the way. I don't know how to do the conversion to Fahrenheit. So the colder it gets, the better your winter tires grip to the road and the ice. But here, the snow is so wet and slimy. I know that's not the right term, but it's so slippery that the winter tire can't get through it to get to the road, and there's just no traction. So a lot of people here have studded tires that they put on, or they have chains, or they have four-wheel drive. I don't want to invest $400 tire in studded tires, and it's the front wheel drive, so I'd need 2 for the front, but that would mean storing them, having them put on and taken off. So I think chains are the better way to go. So I had bought the chains. They weren't expensive per se. They were under $200 for the chains and the tension spider, and I'm going to show those in another video. I've never put chains on, so we're going to learn to put chains on together. I've done some research. You can get different types of chains, and you can get these socks, snow socks, but I decided to go with these chains. These are cable chains, and I'll go over the different types in that video that I'm going to film. I'm going to wait until it's not so wet out there, because now, of course, it's raining. It's going to rain for multiple days. And then once it's stopped raining, maybe I'll just lay a tarp down, and we're going to put these chains on, practice putting these chains on, because you should always know how to put them on before you need them. So that's another video. But that's what happened. So that was yesterday, and today I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to give it another couple days just to make sure the road was actually cleared once you got off our little road, and the ramp up, that road up, seems pretty good, but I don't need to go anywhere. I have everything that I need here. So I'm gonna go for a walk, and I don't think I'm gonna drive anywhere, at least until tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow after work or at lunch, I will go over to the post office. It's not open today anyways, so I don't need to go anywhere. But that's what happened. It turned out that I was fully prepared for the storm, but I was not prepared for the snow here. And in my defense, last winter it did snow a lot, but it wasn't this kind of snow. The roads where I was got cleared a whole lot better. This little bit of road here that comes off of the main sort of road, secondary road, they did plow it once, but that was it. And then of course it snowed again, and it was just a mess. So I was not prepared for that. And last winter I did not encounter it. And naively, I thought that my winter tires would serve me well because I was used to the snow from Alberta, that cold, dry snow, and where winter tires does really well. And now I'm gonna hunker down, and I'm gonna make those 2 recipes. I think I'll start with the split pea soup, get that in the Instant Pot, and I'm going to edit a video, respond to some of your comments from last week's video, and just curl up with Sophie. So guys, I thought I would share what happened, the aftermath of the storm prep. It was not snowmageddon or anything like that, not like Calgary has had, not like a lot of places are having. We probably only got about 3 inches the first day and another 2 the second day. But again, the snow here is that heavy, wet, slimy, slushy stuff that really is taking some getting used to. But that's okay. Now I know, and I'm going to be prepared for next time when it's going to snow storm like that. I'm just going to park up top and not even bother coming down here, because I have learned that the van just does not do well, and there's just no point. So lesson learned, but this year is all about learning lessons. Again, we're learning them together, and we will learn how to put those tire chains on together in a later video when the weather is cooperating, because everybody says, and I tend to agree, that this is the last storm we're going to have here. From this point forward, snowstorm. From this point forward, it should just be rain. Rain, I can handle. So anyways, guys, I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're staying safe and warm. Remember, in a world where you can be anything, be kind, especially to yourself. I love you, and I'll see you next time.